Hey guys, Dr. Roshan Ramnarayan here. Welcome to the classroom, where it's you, me, and my trusty whiteboard, where we talk about matters of the body, mind, heart, and spirit. Today's class is super awesome because it's by popular demand. This is by far my most requested topic to talk about. And today, we're going to talk about how to stand up for ourselves. I'm not entirely sure why this is so requested for, but I guess for some reason there's a need for it. And when I go back to think about it, everyone nowadays has an opinion. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think what it is, it's that nowadays we have the ability to share that opinion behind a screen, behind a keyboard. And so everyone now has an opinion that, we tend to become into conflict with one another because of our opinions. And so as a result of that, sometimes I guess folks may, the amount of bullying, for instance, might have increased dramatically because of our ability to share our opinions throughout the world so very easily. And so how to stand up for ourselves? There's a very simple way to do that. And again, as with all my lectures, simple in concept, but requires a certain amount of discipline to execute. How we stand up for ourselves could be surmised in one word. We need to be grounded. We absolutely need to be grounded in all senses of the word. How does one stay grounded? I want you to think of, this is my expert drawing here, guys. Humor me for a little while. This is the grass. This is a beautiful tree. Hold on. My standard 5 art teacher will be very impressed. And there are two options, guys. The roots could be very shallow, and so the slightest wind knock the entire tree over, or the roots go deep and wide. And as a result of that, no matter the adversity, no matter how much pressure comes, no matter how much we have to stand up for ourselves, because we are grounded, we have the ability to. So the question now lies, how? And the reason why I gave this tree analogy, we ground ourselves in two ways. Well, actually, it's one of two parts. The first part is that we connect to the earth, and literally we connect to the earth by putting our foot barefoot on the grass. Now, what I recommend is we sit on the grass, because the last thing I would want is for us to walk on our lawn and get stuck with a nail or step in an ant's patch or some kind of stuff like that. So if you can, for instance, get a nice garden chair, get a nice piece of grass, take off your shoes, you put your foot on the grass, preferably early morning or late evening, where you can get some nice sun as well, and we just be. Now, for those who don't have access to grass, or for those that, for instance, perhaps it's winter time and it's not feasible to go outside, you can get a grounding mat, for instance. That's a mat that connects to the grounding wire within the wall socket and connects you to the earth energy. And if you're into this as well, you can literally get like a pot of soil, for instance. And maybe get a live soil. Don't get soil that has been sort of sterilized. Get a live soil, and you put your foot in that, for instance. That could also be equally effective if you don't have access to grass. And so connecting ourselves to the earth is really important in helping us to put down these energetic roots, so to speak. So how? Get a chair, take off your slippers, you put your foot on the grass, and we do nothing. And I know that's difficult to do, but what I would like you to focus your mind on is the feeling of the earth on the grass. Very similar to, for instance, when we hug someone. Think of the last time you really hugged someone. Chances are you would have closed your eyes, you would have gone in and you would have pressed the person close to you, and you'd have gotten a feel, not here, and not on your skin, you would have gotten a feel here for the amount of love that person would have had for you. I want you to close your eyes, and as if you're hugging, not physically of course, but that connection that you share with that person when you're hugging, think of that connection with the earth. And don't think of anything else. Don't walk with a phone, no magazines, no newspapers, nothing. Just connect to the earth. Doesn't have to take long. I can share my experience with you when I connect to the earth. So there are times when my mind is buzzing with work stuff, home stuff, country, economy, all of these things. And my mind becomes full and jumbled, and it's a bit much. And I become very top heavy at this point in time because all my energy is up here. And the slightest bit of adversity bowls me right over because all my energy is up here, I'm not grounded well. So from the moment I start to realize that small things are getting me irritated, I know that I have to connect to the earth. I have to get back grounded. And my feeling, when I connect to the earth, the best way I can describe it is that I feel as if I'm in the presence of something that is immeasurably large, immeasurably old and ancient, and I feel almost insignificant. Similar-ish to if anyone ever looked up at the night sky and you see all the stars over the entire universe and you feel like a little speck when you look at those stars. Similar feeling when I connect with the earth. I close my eyes, I take a few deep breaths, and I connect to the earth energetically. That's the feeling I get. And what that feeling does, guys, is that it gives me perspective. Connecting to something so immeasurably large and old and ancient, it makes me realize that all the things that's buzzing in my mind, all these great problems that took up my entire life, is insignificant. You know why? Because I'm insignificant. And it's not in a bad way. It's in a awe-inspiring sort of way. So connecting to the earth gives me perspective. I encourage you guys to practice this. I've been grounding myself for years, and it's still, and every time I do it, there's always something new. Just do it sincerely, do it earnestly, take time and do it. Don't look for the rewards, just do it for the sake of doing it, knowing that your connection to the earth will grow. Because remember, the big tree doesn't get these big roots all of a sudden. It takes years and years of work because the small tree initially has small roots. And as you increase your connection to the earth, your ability to withstand stress and strain will increase. It gives us perspective. The other way that we ground ourselves, which goes hand in hand with this, is we must, and it's beautifully summed up in 2 words. This is a lecture of few words. We have to know thyself. This is one of the phrases that I live my life by. Knowing thyself. Because you would be shocked to find how many people walk around not knowing who they are, not knowing their innermost demons, not knowing the things that trigger them, not knowing why they are triggered by certain things. And so for me, I spend a fair bit of time, and I encourage everyone that I know to spend time doing something called shadow work. There's a video I did on shadow work earlier. I'll link it at the end of this video. But knowing who we are and knowing what we're about helps us to be able to stand up for ourselves. Why? Because once we know who we are, okay, this is you. This is us, an empty vessel. And if we know who we are, if we know we are 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and we know this, we know that this is who we are without a shadow of a doubt, and someone who is malintended comes and tells us we are X, Y, and Z, someone comes to us and tells us that, then because we are keenly aware on who we are, we will not fall prey to their, as a recent term I learned, gaslighting. It's where someone tries to tell you, try to warp your sense of reality basically. So someone says to you something that's not true, you can spot the untruth very, very easily. But it only happens if we know who we are. If there is self-doubt, guys, if you don't know who you are, if this is unknown to you, then the person who is malintended, let me make the Z nicer for you guys. Z. If this is unknown to you, then this person who is malintended could take this and insert it in the unknown here. And that now could affect you deeply. And that's why we would have difficulty in standing up for ourselves. But know thyself, knowing who we are, it protects us from that. How many of us have been in conflict and a person says, you're lazy, or you're lying, or all these things, and we get taken back. How this person could say I'm lying? How this person could say I'm lazy? I'm so hardworking. And the righteous indignation that boils up from within us as a result of that injustice or untruth. How could they say something like that? Well, it's because they're malintended. It's because they want to hurt you. But if you know within yourself that, hey, I really try my best, I really work very hard, and you know that, without a shadow of a doubt, when they level an accusation at you, well, okay, if you think I'm lazy, well, I'm lazy, that's fine. But I know for myself I'm not. And so essentially, that allows us to stand up for ourselves. Grounding ourselves and connecting to the earth helps us to also know ourselves, because this almost is a sort of meditation. I always walk away with this new perspective, and a lot of the times this new perspective is some new insight into myself. This is one of my secret, guys, as to how I can stay stable in difficult times. I'm sharing this with you with no holds barred, because the idea is to educate people and empower everyone. So this is how we stand up for ourselves, by staying grounded, connect to the earth. And if you don't have earth, a pot of live soil to rest your foot in, or a grounding mat, and knowing yourself. So these two things go hand in hand. And my hope is I was able to explain how they can help us in a practical way, how to stand up for ourselves. So my hope is you guys understood. If there's any questions or concerns, you can feel free to leave a message in the comment, a question in comment. And as always, if there's any video requests, you can shoot me a video request in the comment. I try to read every single one. So with that being said, guys, class dismissed.